Joining me now is Gemma Tognini from GT Communications and commentator Sara Gill. Samara, in this CBS interview, the Sussexes are talking about children and social media and online bullying. What were the main takeaways on the teaser for you, and do you think it struck the right note?
I mean, it was very hard to decipher Harry's psychobabble. I think he's been in Montecito a little bit too long. It was actually really difficult to figure out what he was trying to say. Calling parents first responders or saying that they should be first responders was really tone deaf. I mean, most parents are just trying to put food on the table and keep the lights on instead of being also a full-time therapist on top of it. But I'm not going to take, bullying advice and cyberbullying advice from someone like Meghan Markle and Harry, who have an absolutely shambolic record. I mean, we're talking about someone who made Kate Middleton cry very famously. We're talking about someone who, after her bridezilla moment at the palace when she was getting married, they had to do a formal investigation into some of the behavior that she had exhibited while she was preparing to get married. Because she had literally made staff who had worked with the Queen for 30 years, she had brought them to tears. I mean, not to mention Harry's book that he published, which basically aired out every piece of dirty laundry that the royal family has ever had, dragged them through the mud for things that happened behind closed doors. I mean, it's just ridiculous that they're now coming and saying that there's some sort of bastion of anti-bullying when their record shows that they are completely not the people to be lecturing us on this.
And Gemma, privacy, cyberbullying, huge worldwide issue. And while I agree with, also many of the points made by Samara, but I understand the point that Harry and Meghan are trying to make, I still can't but help think they're doing themselves a bit of a disservice in the credibility stakes on this particular issue.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up the word credibility, because these sorts of conversations, the bedrock of these conversations is credibility, and the credibility of the people trying to drive these conversations and influence the outcomes. I am on a ticket of furious agreement with Samara in the sense that this is the couple that, pimped out their children on Instagram regularly. Like, I have friends, and I'm sure you do too, Cara, with kids who they will share pictures of their children on Instagram with their faces hidden by a little emoji or a little photo or something like that, so that their children, who aren't in a position to make decisions for themselves about who gets to see them and what their digital footprint looks like. And these aren't people who the entire, Western world and digital world knows the existence about. These are just people like you and me. So Harry and Meghan, whilst in their own minds, no doubt, are the hero of their own stories and are very well intentioned, have zero credibility in this space to talk about cyberbullying and to talk about these things, because they are still engaging in this stuff. They're still engaging in life by, media, social media, all of that sort of thing. And I do go back to that book. I mean, even talking about the woman who he lost his virginity to and the way he described it, and this woman had been getting on with her life, had by all reports, kept his secret for the last however many years, and he just described her as, I recall, like a horse in the back of paddock behind a pub. I mean, it was just absolutely vile behaviour. So I don't, bless them. I feel a little bit sorry for them, because there's just this couple continually going through this circular door of, we're so great, we're going to save the world in this issue, that issue, but they have absolutely no credibility from which to launch this conversation.